Welcome back to another cooking video. In this video, I'm going to be cooking some delicious barbecue ribs, and I'm going to show you how to make sure that they are really, really tender, because you want tender ribs when you're cooking your barbecue ribs. Now, there's a lot of different methods of cooking barbecue ribs, but I'm going to show you my method on how I cook some delicious tender barbecue ribs. Because if anybody cooks you barbecue ribs and they're not tender, that person did not cook them right. And if they also don't have the right flavor profile. So I'm going to show you my method on how I cook some tender, delicious barbecue ribs. Now, first thing you need is a pan that's wrapped in aluminum foil. Just like such. Right there, got my pan. I wrapped it in aluminum foil so I can go ahead and put my ribs on the foil, and it saves you some time of doing your dishes also, so you don't have to do the dishes once you put the barbecue sauce on it, so it won't stick to the pan or anything like that matter. That's why I use aluminum foil on my pan. Now, the very first thing, obviously, you need is some barbecue ribs. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my barbecue ribs out of the fridge. If I have some. I know I got some. I bought some. Where are they? Maybe they're on the other side. I don't know. Maybe I have to look. Okay, well, I guess I can't cook back barbecue ribs because I forgot them. So, I guess I'm just going to end the video here. I mean, well, not unless I got it. Instead of cooking store-bought ribs, I'm going to cook my own ribs. That's right. So if you're squeamish, or if pain bothers you, click off the video now, because I have no other option. I forgot to get the ribs from the store, so I have to cook my own ribs. I'm going to have to pull it off. Now, I won't show it. Won't show me pulling off my ribs, but I will show my reaction of pulling out my ribs. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But I'll do anything for science. So, let's get this over with. I gotta prepare myself, not only physically, but also mentally. Okay. Here I go. Stuck in there. Man, that really sucks, but I have to do it. Okay. There's one of my ribs out. I'm going to be cooking 4, so I have to do this 3 more times. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bear the pain. Here it goes. Stuck in there. There's 2. Okay. I just have to go for 2 more ribs. Then I'm done. I could do this. I could do this. There's 3. 1 more to go. My sides are hurting. I can't believe I have the strength to pull out these ribs from my stomach. But it must be done, guys. I gotta do it. Almost. It's almost out. I got it. Ribs that I've just pulled out of my stomach. I'm surprised there ain't no blood or yucky stuck on them, but there they are. It was not easy, but it had to be done. Whew. I think I'll be alright, guys. I don't think I have to call an ambulance or anything, but my sides are hurting a little tiny bit. Whew. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know. Make this a lesson, but hey, you know what? My ribs are probably tastier than the ones you get at the store. So, my method on how to make some tender barbecue ribs. The very first thing you're going to need, obviously, is your ribs. I already said that, so I don't know why I'm saying it again. But, what I'm going to grab here is some napkins. You're going to need paper towels. If you don't have a paper towel, you can use a clean washcloth or anything else for that matter to cover your ribs, because you're going to want to put your ribs like this, as close as possible, right there. Then what you want to do is you take your paper towel and you put it right over your ribs, just like such. After you cover your ribs, you're going to need a hammer. That's right, a hammer. And you're just going to want to pound your ribs to get them really tender. The reason why I do this is because it loosens up the meat, which in return will make them tender, because you don't want to have tough ribs at all. So if you pound the ribs, what it does is it loosens up the meat, the inside and also the outside. So take your hammer right here, and you're going to want to pound. Just pound away. Make sure you get all your ribs. Make sure you get all 4 of them. You don't have to pound them too hard. You can pound them a little bit soft, but you want to pound them hard enough to where it's actually pressing down on the rib. And this just helps with tenderness. Make sure you get all the way around your rib. Now, once that's done, you're going to want to take your paper towel off. And then you're going to want to flip your ribs and rinse and repeat just on the other side. Take the paper napkin. If your paper towel rips or anything like that, it's totally fine. Just, you know, cover it. But then after I flip them, I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm just going to pound the crap out of them, like they owe you money. Oh, that one's really slipping away from me. Oh, that one's getting out. It's okay if while you're pounding your ribs and they escape, just like this one did, just kind of push it back in there and just continue to pound them. You want to pound them good. Make sure you get all 4 of your ribs, or how many ribs you're cooking. Alright, now after you get done pounding your ribs, I mean, you can even get creative. You don't have to use a hammer. I mean, you could just, you go ahead, you know, you can use your fist and just punch it. The rib up here, and just give it an extra punch, you know. Making sure it's really extra tender. You can do that too. Now that my ribs are completely pounded, what you're going to want to need is some butter. And people like to use different seasoning for their ribs. That's completely fine. But I'm going to use black pepper, some meat tenderizer. This meat tenderizer has different types of seasoning in it, so it's going to be really good for that flavor, and also it's going to help the ribs get that much tender. And some paprika for just flavoring. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to take your butter. I like to use the spoon or butter knife. You can use either or, but I prefer my fingers. My hands are clean, guys, but I prefer my fingers because it's a better way for me to smear the butter all over the rib. So I'm going to take the butter and I'm going to smear it all over the rib. This also is going to help keep the rib moist, and it's also going to help with tenderness, and it's also going to help with keeping the seasoning on the rib. So you just want to take your butter and smear it all over the rib, the front and the back. We're going to do the same side to this right here. Just make sure you cover it from top to bottom. Make sure you get all the crevices and everything. You may need more butter than what I use to cover your ribs, depending on how big your ribs are. But that's fine. Make sure you get the sides as well. Do not make sure you cover your rib completely. I need more butter, so I'm going to grab my spoon. Oh, bear with me here. Okay. I'll put that down. And I'm just going to do this right here. Just smear that butter all over the rib. Right up there as well. Make sure you get the edges. Then you're going to want to flip them and just rinse and repeat, basically. Make sure you also get this back side right here. And again, just make sure you cover the entire rib with butter. And the sides. There we go. That's coming out nice. Oh, my hand's slipping. All right. All right. I think that's pretty good. All right, I got my ribs covered in butter, just like so. You want to take your pepper. People use different types of seasoning, but this is my seasoning that I'm going to be using. Pepper will bring out the little extra heat. Right there, you just want to start from one end and just kind of smear it around, and you will smear it in, so don't worry about it getting all over the rib. Okay, just like so. Got my pepper on there. I'm going to pour a little bit of paprika, just a little tiny bit. Just from one end to the other. It's really going to bring out the redness of the ribs. Oh, well, that's fine because I'm going to smear it in. But there's my paprika. Now I'm going to take my meat tenderizer. Right here. I'm just going to pour on to one side of the rib and to the other. It don't matter how much you use because you're going to be smearing it in anyway. Alright. So I got all three. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to take your fingers and just smear it. Kind of like your face, like finger painting. Like you used to do as a kid. Well, that's what I used to do as a kid. I used to finger paint a lot. So that's basically the same premise right here. And you're just going to want to smear that seasoning all over the rib. Make sure you try to cover every single inch of the rib. It's okay if you have too much because we're going to be using that to whatever on the pan. We'll get into the sauce, into the barbecue sauce, so it's totally fine how much you use. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to flip it. And you basically want to do the same thing that you did to the other side. So just start off with pepper to the paprika. Some meat tenderizer. Then you just want to do what you did to the other side and just smear it in. Once you get the cracks in there. Alright. There's our ribs right there. You can take your ribs and just kind of, smear the edges. So you can get that extra seasoning up on the rib itself. This one's completely covered. Take this one, smear it around the pan so I'll be able to get the sides very good. There we go. Same thing to this one. Right over here. Alright. This right here is what you want your ribs to be looking like after you season them. The way I seasoned them. Right there, just a nice color, a nice coat on the ribs. Completely covered from front to back to side. That's what you want your ribs looking like right here. Those ribs look really good. They look ready to go. I know they're tender because we pounded them with a hammer. And that meat tenderizer is also going to give them that extra tenderness that we are looking for. And it's just a beautiful 4 pieces of my own ribs right here. Now, people cook their ribs on different temperatures. What you want to do, you want to cook your ribs on slow. You want to cook them slow in the oven. Because if you cook them too fast, then they're not going to cook properly and they won't get that tenderness that we are looking for. So that's why you want to put it on a low temperature and let them cook slow. If you cook them too fast, that is what's going to happen. They're not going to cook properly and they're going to be tough. So, what I cook my ribs on, right here, I'm going to hit bake, and I'm going to put it on 375. Right there, that's good temperature. That's what I cook my ribs on to cook them nice and slow. I'm going to hit start. Now, while that's preheating, you don't have to wait for it to preheat. You can just go ahead and put your ribs in the oven while the oven is preheating. Because, again, that heat is just going to build up into the ribs. So, you don't have to wait to put your ribs in after your oven is preheated. You can put your ribs in the oven while the oven is preheating. That is totally fine. Got our beautiful ribs right here. We're going to go ahead and put those into the oven like such. Close the door. Now the ribs are cooking. Come over here. And I'm going to leave the ribs on for about 35 minutes. And then I'm going to check on them. Actually, I'm going to leave it on 30 minutes. And then I'm going to check on them. So I typically I leave them in for about 30 to 45 minutes tops. 45 minutes tops is all you're going to need. But I'm going to start out for 30, then I'll check them. And if I need the extra 15 minutes, then I'll go ahead and add the 15 minutes. So I'm going to timer here. "30 minutes. I'm going to hit start. Now it's off. While we're letting them cook, we'll check into them about halfway. So until then, I'll see you guys then when we flip the ribs. Alright, we're going to check on the ribs here. They've been cooking for there's about 8 minutes left right up there. Look at them, look at the process. As soon as I get my pot holder. Alright, let's take a look at them. Look at those ribs. They're cooking nicely, perfectly, just as we want them to. Now, when you get them about halfway where they're at now, you're going to want to flip them around so they can cook on the other side. Just a quick flip here. Ribs. Oh, man, it smells really good. Let's stick our fork into here. Yep. You can see how tender that is right there. Oh, yeah. Just going to take this one and flip this one also around. You want to do that. So they'll cook evenly on both sides. They'll flip them halfway through. Push them back into the oven. It smells really good. You can really smell the flavors. And just the juices that are pouring off that. That's from the butter. But those ribs will soak that up. So I'm going to close the oven and let them cook a little bit longer. And they're almost done. Alright, our ribs are done, so let's go ahead and take them up out of the oven. We're going to turn off the oven. We're going to pull these out. Right here. Oh, wow, they smell absolutely delicious. Oh, wow. Just looking at these and just smelling them, they look and smell absolutely delicious. Look at the perfect ribs right there. You can see the nice coating on the ribs right there with the pepper, with the paprika. Oh, yeah, exactly what you want to see right there. That should be your outcome for your ribs. It's the perfect color, perfect rib. Now, how do you tell if your ribs are 100% done? Well, I'm glad you asked. What you want to do, you want to take the thickest rib and you want to cut it in half and check that way, because if your thickest rib is not done, you can be sure that your other ribs are not done also. So I think this, well, actually, this one is the thickest. So let's go ahead and cut into that. Well, and it just cuts into it very easy because it's very tender. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to show you guys the inside of the rib. Right there. That is what you would want with your ribs. They're all done because this is the thickest rib. So the thickest one is done. Then they're all done. But just look at that. Nice cooked all the way through. Oh yeah, that's really good right there. Alright. Okay, so that's what you're wanting to see if your ribs are done. Now, what goes on ribs? That's right, barbecue sauce. Now, people have their own different type of barbecue sauce. I prefer this barbecue sauce with the honey. The honey adds a little bit of sweetness to the ribs, and I just really like this flavor of barbecue sauce. So that's what I'm going to put on my ribs. Again, people like different type of barbecue sauce, but this is what I'm using. Again, the honey just adds that little bit of sweetness to the ribs. So I put all together as close as possible. Now we're going to take the bottle. As soon as I open it here. Alright, we're going to take the bottle of the barbecue sauce and we're going to pour it directly over the ribs. You're going to want to cover your ribs completely in barbecue sauce. Some people don't like a lot of barbecue sauce. I am a barbecue sauce person, a barbecue sauce fiend, so I love barbecue sauce, so I'm going to pour a lot. And just want to smother your entire ribs here. As soon as you can't see your ribs anymore, that's going to be good right there. Got all my barbecue ribs covered in barbecue sauce. Now I'm going to put it back into the oven, not for a long time, but for a short time, no longer than 5 minutes. This is just so the barbecue sauce can fuse with the barbecue ribs. The barbecue sauce can get hot, and that's basically it. That's why you want to put it back into the oven for no longer than 5 minutes is all you're going to need. So I'm going to grab the ribs, just completely smothered in that barbecue sauce. Oh, so good. And put it right back into the oven so the barbecue sauce can get hot and the barbecue sauce will fuse with the ribs, and all that extra flavoring that is on the pan also will cook into the barbecue sauce. So we're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. Alright, I just took the ribs out. Here is the final product of my ribs. Look at that. Just a nice color to them. It's the paprika that adds the redness to the barbecue sauce and to the ribs. And it just looks absolutely delicious. Wow, look at those. They just look really good. Really, really good. So, first, let's go ahead and try the barbecue sauce. I'm going to dip my finger in here. Yeah. Nice barbecue sauce. Taste the honey. You can taste that whatever fell off the ribs onto the pan, which wasn't a lot, but those flavors mashed with the barbecue sauce, with the honey, and it just gives it like an infusion of different flavors. The barbecue sauce is really good. I could not be happier with that. Now, there's only one thing. Yes, I'm not plating these right now, but, you know, I decided I'm just going to try them on the pan. And then maybe later I'll plate them. But for now, the barbecue sauce is good. I really like it. Really good barbecue sauce. Really good flavor. So it should go good with the rib. Now, for the main course, let's try the ribs themselves. Are they tender? Exactly how I want them to be? Probably. But, you know, we always got to give this a try. So, let's go ahead and try our barbecue ribs. Let's see how tender they are. You can always tell by how tender your ribs are going to be by sticking your fork in there. If you have to push down hard, then they're not going to be as tender. But if they just go slide in, then they're really tender. So let's see. Let's do the test. Oh yeah, I barely had to push down. You can see that fork, it's all the way down there. Exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what I need for right in the middle of the ribs. Now, these are hot, so I need to be careful whenever I take my first bite. But that is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to make sure I get a bite that's smothered in the barbecue sauce. Hopefully I don't drip no barbecue sauce on my shirt, because that would be bad. Not that bad, but bad. Alright. I smothered my rib. There is the rib, guys. Look at that perfect color. That is what you want for your ribs. Just on both sides. This is completely covered in barbecue sauce. From the front to the back, from the sides. It's just dripping in barbecue sauce. It's just a nice rib right here. We're about to find out exactly how tender these things are. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bite into this thing. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth, because they are hot. They just came out of the oven. But just visually, that's a good rib right there. Good rib. Just look at the coating and everything. Now it is dripping barbecue sauce, but I'm right over the pan, so it's not dripping on the floor, and it's not dripping on me. So let's go ahead and try the barbecue ribs. My own barbecue ribs, mind you, because I had to take these out of my stomach. So hopefully my ribs taste better than the store-bought ribs. So let's go ahead and try these. That is perfect. The meat, it just melts straight into your mouth. Not a lot of chewing required, because it just melts in your mouth. You can taste the pepper, which brings a little bit of heat. The paprika is good on it, which adds a little bit more flavor. And again, the meat tenderizer, that has its own special blends of seasoning inside the meat tenderizer. You can really taste the flavors. They just pop out of your mouth. The rib is extremely tender. Again, it's just melt in your mouth. It's really good. It's really delicious. I'm going in for another bite, as always, for you guys. So here's a bite for you guys. Really tender. Did a perfect job. My ribs taste perfect. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10. Absolutely delicious. Tender, flavorful. The honey barbecue adds that extra flavor to it. It's just perfect ribs, honestly. Maybe even the best ribs I've cooked in my entire life up to this point. And I'm not even showcasing or, that other word that I can't think of right now. But these are some good, delicious barbecue ribs. You guys follow my method and you will get delicious, tender, flavorful ribs. And that's how you make my method of how to make tender, flavorful, and just delicious ribs. I'm going in for one more bite. And the butter. You can also taste the butter. Not too strong of a butter taste though, but you notice that the butter is there, and the butter is just at that extra top. It's like the cherry on top of the sundae with the butter. And the butter helped it be tender. The meat tenderizer helped it be tender, and hitting it with a hammer also helped the rib to be tender. So everything you want from a barbecue rib. Everything. So 10 out of 10 on my ribs. But that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Wait. Okay. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. That's how you make tender, flavorful, delicious barbecue ribs. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.